Good morning, Chair Przonski, members of the committee. For the record, my name is Jennifer Williamson. I'm the state representative for House District 36, Northwest and Southwest Portland. I want to first start by thanking you for holding this hearing and to thank everyone who signed up to testify today or submitting testimony and taking part in this conversation. Too often we see horrific carnage caused by mass shootings, attacks in our schools and in our communities. And although they go less reported in the news, we know of countless women and children who have been hurt or killed by an abusive partner with a firearm. We've taken steps over the past few years towards ensuring that dangerous individuals, violent criminals, domestic abusers don't have easy access to firearms. I want to thank the governor for her leadership on gun safety, and I want to thank Senator Burdick and Boquist for all their hard work on Senate Bill 868. We know that families and law enforcement currently lack the tools to help at-risk firearms owners. This legislation would protect Oregonians from hurting themselves and others during a time of crisis, and I look forward to supporting this bill when it comes to the House. On paper in Oregon, we require that all potential buyers of firearms pass a criminal background check before they can purchase. Except in practice, we have a large loophole that allows folks to purchase a firearm without a background check if that check takes longer than 3 days. It doesn't matter ultimately after 3 days what comes back in that buyer's background. I want to share just a few numbers from the Oregon State Police to help put this bill in perspective. OSP conducts more than 250,000 background checks for gun sales per year. Some 94 to 96% of those checks are completed within 5 minutes. Now, I know that you've heard that it takes longer than that. If there are lots of people in the queue, it may take longer, but the actual check takes less than 5 minutes. The other 3 to 6% go into something called the pending status, meaning they've been flagged for further review to determine if a buyer is eligible. An example of this kind of flag is if someone has a restraining order in another state, and the background check officer at OSP must physically go pull the file or call that state to find out whether or not that restraining order is one where that person cannot own a firearm in Oregon. But if this process takes longer than 3 business days, the seller has the discretion to sell the gun anyway. A further look at these numbers are alarming. The denial rate for background checks is 0.073%, so less than 1%. But the denial rate for those who go into the pending status is 5%. In other words, a background check that goes into pending is 5 times more likely to ultimately show that the buyer has something in his or her background that disqualifies them from owning a firearm. The top 3 most common reasons for denial last year were a purchaser having a felony record, being on probation, or in fugitive status. Now, I know that most responsible gun dealers will wait until the background check is fully completed before selling their guns, but not everyone does. We've heard that we need to do more to go after bad guys who try to buy guns when they shouldn't, and this bill gives local law enforcement a better ability to do just that. Senate Bill 797 would also protect vulnerable women by doing 2 things: closing what's called the stalker loophole by prohibiting the sale of a gun to anyone convicted of stalking, and by closing the boyfriend loophole, which updates the definition of relationship status pertaining to certain kinds of court orders. I believe we owe it to our communities to pass common sense gun laws that keep them safe, and closing these loopholes are the right thing to do and will do just that. Thank you.